when we run this test now, again, let's see what happens. So what you see is that it's not a lot, but it gets outside the tolerance curve. Why? Because the jacket in front of the woofer is now changing the resistance. It was free before, now there is something in front of it. It's not a big deal, but it's enough to tell you that there is something wrong with the speaker. The same thing would happen if you take a finger and put it on a diaphragm, or there's a little tear in the diaphragm. Any mechanical issue on a speaker, you would be able to find. So, in your system check, this would turn out as a fault. And of course, for one speaker, not a big deal. But now imagine you have a line array. 2 or 3 high-frequency drivers per cabinet. You got 2 or 3 cabinets in parallel. There's hundreds of components, and they might not be even next to you. They might be spread all over the place. Or if you think an installation, whole exhibition center, there's no spot where you can listen to all these speakers because they are spread all over the building. With that one, you can detect each single one, and you know exactly when they come back green, they sound the way they should be. If they are red, there might be an issue. So, back to IRIS-NET. I mentioned it before, the architecture of IRIS-NET is modular and expandable. So that means that even if there is a new interface, a new network standard that we don't know today, no big deal. We just add some of the functionality and we'll be able to integrate it. The way IRIS-NET is designed, it's open for anything that might happen in the future, as well as it is open to any third-party application. Before we even started working on IRIS-NET, IRIS-NET came out in 2002. This shows the flexibility and the modular architecture. We don't have a problem to incorporate an old unit, so to speak. It doesn't matter whether it's old or new. If you want to bring it under the control of IRIS-NET, we can. So, currently software version 1.2, that's released. In the next release, which is planned for early April, the X38 will be incorporated. NetMax, N8000 system control. It's designed in a way to be very open and very, very flexible. So there's a full extensive macro language available to do things that we haven't designed as a standard function, but a customer needs it in an application. Okay, he can help himself. The hardware is modular too, so there is 4 module slots on the back. Each of these module slots can be either input or output, and each of these slots has 8 channels. So there could be a total of 32 inputs or 32 outputs, or any combination in between, like 8 in, 24 out. In addition to these input and output slots, there is audio networking with a CobraNet card, which can be optional fitted, so it doesn't come as standard, but if you need it, you can. And one of the early users was the Olympic Stadium in Berlin that actually has also 171 XLC cabinets in it. 171. And some, I think, 9 or 11 NetMax. Düsseldorf, Frankfurt, Hanover, Nuremberg. That's actually my hometown. So, and of course, the most prestigious installation in the Allianz Arena. Actually the color changes depending on the team who's playing. It's blue or red. That's inside. For the use of NetMax, where, let's say, DX38 is pretty much straightforward, self-explaining. For NetMax, we definitely recommend to visit some of our product trainings, and actually there's even certification trainings where you can become a certified IRIS-NET programmer. But even if you're not a certified programmer and you're just interested in these things or you're working with it, there is a dedicated website for IRIS-NET, and here's an important point to mention. IRIS-NET is our general backbone, and when we designed it, we said it's a general backbone for all the products within the Telex corporation. It looks like now that we will even expand that and work together with some of the products from our new Bosch parent company. The nice thing is, IRIS-NET is so flexible that it allows all these things. Now, IRIS-NET is not brand specific. It just happened that Electro-Voice was the first brand to use it, okay? So this is why if you look at the website, you see actually the address is irisnet.electrovoice.com. And it's possible that you will find an irisnet.dynacord, an irisnet.midas, or whatever. So there will be more dedicated brand pages with their applications, but IRIS-NET is the platform that will work throughout. And the link is directly from the EV website. There says IRIS-NET, and then you're there. Okay, to give you a quick impression of what you can do with the system, let me go straight into it and open a few projects just to show you that what you see depends on so much on what you're doing, because it's a very flexible tool. So this is a project they did 1.5 years ago in Germany. It's a multi-purpose hall with some extra rooms. So just loading. Let's take a look at the project. This is the floor plan, which is a bitmap from the picture, and it's just imported into the software. They are programmed that they have to give you back, I'm healthy. Of course, now they can't say anything. Typically, if everything is good, all these speakers would be black. And if there's one problem, like I showed you before, somebody's putting his jacket over it or whatever, they might turn red. And you know immediately, this could be the facility manager. He's not a sound engineer. But he looks at the screen and says, oh, room number 2, 1 speaker. So this is the overview about the building. This next thing here is this system in the big hall. These are the 2 rooms, number 1 and 2, and you see that even the NetMax, the input cards are also available with microphone preamps. There is no mixing console involved. The inputs for microphones and DVD players is all straight into the NetMax. And the same here, that's a panel for both rooms combined. Now, let's open and look another project to show you how different it can look if somebody else is sorting a different problem. So, NAMM Show. Actually, this is wrong name. It's not NAMM Show 2006. It was this year, 2000. But what you see here, basically, we had a setup on the booth. We had a Midas XL8 on one side, and we had NetMax and remote control amplifiers on the other side, XLC, XLD, XLE. And this is very simple. We had one screen up with a touch panel. So you could actually select and say, okay, as an input selection, I use the XL8, and this will say, you have selected the XL8, or I want the CD, now playing CD. Okay, the mute button actually goes for me. Make a little break now.
Yes.
Coffee break.
Yes.
Thanks for the attention so far, and see you back when in